Hey everyone, a quick heads up. YouTube's analytics show that most of you watching right now haven't hit that subscribe button. If that's you, please consider joining the community and helping this channel grow. It literally takes a second. Share new stories daily, she told me. You need to stop being so needy. We don't have to talk every single day. My response was simple. You're absolutely right. My apologies. Then I gave her precisely the quiet she requested. The real issue for her only surfaced when the car insurance, the phone bill, and the rental expenses I covered also fell silent. I've always believed that in a serious relationship, you operate as a unified front. You support one another. If you're the one who can afford dinner, you pay. If you're able to handle the major household expenses to simplify life and reduce stress for both of you, you just do it. I never viewed it as keeping tabs. I genuinely thought this was just what being a good partner entailed. My ex-girlfriend, Maya, eventually saw things quite differently. She labeled it the bare minimum. Allow me to set the scene. I'm a 31-year-old male, a senior account executive in tech sales. I'm doing well financially. It's a demanding job, but the compensation is excellent, and I excel at it. Ajo, 28, and I were together for 4 years. When we first met, she was stuck in a draining retail management position. True ambition was to become a freelance graphic designer. She possessed genuine talent, but was hesitant to take the leap. About a year into our relationship, I encouraged her to go for it. Quit your job, I told her. I've got us covered. I'll handle the rent and all the bills. Just take 6 months, a year, whatever time you need, and build your client base. Don't stress about money, just focus on your passion. She was so moved, she cried, and for a while, everything was perfect. I was happy to be the person who could provide that kind of security. I paid the rent for our fantastic apartment. I added her to my phone plan to eliminate that monthly expense for her. She needed a dependable car for client meetings, so I purchased a nice certified pre-owned SUV for her. The title was put in her name. I wanted it to be truly hers, but I made the monthly payments and included it on my insurance policy for a better rate. In my mind, I wasn't just paying bills. I was investing in her and in our future. The problem was her freelance career never truly gained momentum, became a perpetual state of just getting started. Her daily routine morphed into a parody of the influencer lifestyle. 10 a.m. yoga classes, 1 p.m. brunches with friends, afternoon shopping excursions. And perhaps if inspiration struck, an hour or two of mood boarding on Pinterest, I'd return home from an exhausting 10-hour day of back-to-back sales calls to find her worn out from an intense brainstorming session that looked suspiciously like a nap. Her initial gratitude slowly soured into an expectation. The things I provided were no longer seen as a supportive boost, but as her basic entitlement. 2 years ago, I paid for a week-long vacation to Mexico for us. It was a beautiful, all-inclusive resort. On our second day there, she spent the entire afternoon sulking because her friend's boyfriend had taken her to the Maldives the month before. It's just a completely different level of luxury, you know, she sighed, scrolling through her friends' Instagram feed. I was sitting on a pristine beach, sipping a margarita I had paid for, and yet I was being made to feel inadequate. This brings us to the beginning of the end. Over the past 6 months, she started becoming distant. She fell in with a new circle of friends, all fiercely independent and fervent advocates for radical self-focus. They preached about not allowing more a man to dim your light and the critical importance of prioritizing yourself. Suddenly, the partnership I was financially supporting became a constraint holding her back. Our texts became less frequent. She'd be out with her friends, and I wouldn't hear from her for hours. A simple, "Hey, how's your night?" from me would be met with a brief, cold reply hours later. I attempted to discuss it with her. I told her. I felt like we were drifting apart. That's when she delivered the line that set everything in motion. We were in the kitchen. I was preparing dinner. She was on her phone, as usual. I asked if she was looking forward to the weekend, hoping we could finally have a quiet night in. She didn't even glance up from her screen. God, Ben, stop being so clingy. You're suffocating me. We don't need to talk every single day. We don't need to be attached at the hip. I need space. Clingy? I was working 50 hours a week to pay for the apartment she lived in, the car she drove, and the phone. She was ignoring me and my reward was being called clingy for wanting a conversation with my own girlfriend. A switch flipped in my mind. It wasn't a calculated decision for revenge. It was a moment of absolute, undeniable clarity. The guy she perceived as clingy was the very same guy signing the checks that enabled her carefree, independent lifestyle. Her desire for emotional distance was in direct opposition to her complete financial reliance, and she simply couldn't see the hypocrisy. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't argue. I just turned off the stove. I looked at her and said, my voice completely devoid of emotion, "You're right, my apologies." She finally looked up, surprised by my easy agreement. "Oh, okay. Well, thank you for understanding." She believed she had one. She thought she had successfully put me in my place. She had no idea that I wasn't just agreeing to give her emotional space. I was agreeing to give her all the space. The next morning, I initiated the great disentanglement. It felt like a clandestine operation. I started with the phone. I contacted our mobile provider, a company where I had a very generous corporate discount. I explained that I needed to modify my family plan and remove a line. Her line, I had them transfer her number to a new prepaid account with a $20 starting balance. I arranged for the account details and the new SIM card activation information to be sent directly to her email address. Phase 1 was complete. Next, the car insurance. One phone call. I'd like to cancel the policy for the vehicle with license plate XYZ. The agent confirmed the policy was terminated, effective immediately. Phase 2 was complete. Finally, the rent. This was the crucial one. Our rent was automatically debited on the first of each month from my primary checking account. I logged into the apartment's online portal, a place she had likely never seen, and simply deleted the autopay schedule. The account was now set for manual payment. Phase 3 was armed and ready. For the next few days, I gave her exactly what she desired: silence. I stopped sending good morning texts. I didn't call her on my way home from work. We were in the apartment together. I was polite but aloof. I was a phantom in a home I paid for. She absolutely adored it. She was thriving. She'd come and go, barely acknowledging me, high on her newfound liberation from her clingy boyfriend. She was blissfully unaware that the entire foundation of her life was being quietly dismantled around her. The first domino fell 4 days later. She was in the living room attempting to FaceTime with one of her friends. Her phone wasn't connecting to the network. She tried to make a call, and it went straight to an automated message. She checked her email. I watched from my desk as her expression shifted from confusion to a deep, angry frown. "Ben," she yelled, "what happened to my phone? It's saying my plan has been canceled." I swiveled around in my chair. "Oh, that. Yeah, I removed your line from my plan this week. Shared family phone plan. Felt a little clingy, you know. Seemed like a contradiction to the space you needed. I had your number moved to a prepaid plan so you could have more independence. The login info should be in your email." She stared at me, speechless. Before she could formulate a response, I put my headphones on and returned to work. The second domino fell the following week. It was a Tuesday night. There was a knock at the door. My heart skipped a beat for a second, but then I saw Maya's car parked haphazardly on the street and a tow truck pulling up behind it. The officer explained that he had pulled her over for an illegal U-turn, and when he ran her plates, it showed the vehicle had no active insurance policy. Maya stormed into the apartment behind him, her face bright red with fury and embarrassment. She held a massive ticket in her hand. "My car has no insurance." She screamed at me right in front of the cop. I could have been arrested. There, impounding the car? I looked at the officer, then back at her. "That's correct," I said calmly. "I canceled the insurance policy on that vehicle last week." Covering the insurance for someone who needs their space felt like a financial overstep. "I assumed you would want to handle your own policy. It is your car, after all." The officer simply raised his eyebrows, handed her another ticket for driving, uninsured, and walked away. She spent the rest of the night screaming at me. I spent the rest of the night enjoying a documentary on World War II. The final domino, the biggest one, fell on the first of the month. She had been giving me the silent treatment for a week, which was, frankly, a blessing. Around noon, she received an email.
Oh.
I knew because I got one too. The subject line was in large red letters, "Rent payment overdue, action required." This was the one that truly broke her. This wasn't just a ticket or a phone bill. This was eviction territory. She stormed into my home office, her face pale. "The rent?" she whispered, her voice trembling. "You didn't pay the rent." "That's not true," I said, turning to face her. "I paid my half this morning, but our joint auto payment is no longer active. Your half is now overdue." "My half? Can't afford half the rent," she cried. "You know, that, you've always paid it." I leaned back in my chair. Yes, I did. And in return, I was in a committed, loving relationship with a partner who at least pretended to enjoy talking to me every day. You ended that arrangement. You wanted space. You wanted to not be suffocated. I'm not sure what's more suffocating than having your rent, your car, and your phone paid for by the clingy guy you want space from. So I did you a favor. I removed myself from your finances completely. You're free now, independent, no strings attached. Isn't that what you wanted? The story concludes pretty much as you'd anticipate. She had a complete and utter meltdown. She couldn't pay the rent. She couldn't retrieve her car from impound. Her phone only worked on Wi-Fi. Her entire comfortable, subsidized existence had been built on the very clinginess she despised. And I had simply removed the foundation from beneath it. I moved out. A month later, I was tired of the toxic environment. I left her to contend with the angry landlord and the eviction notice that eventually arrived. Last I heard, she had to move back in with her parents, driving her mom's old minivan because her license was suspended from the uninsured ticket. I guess she finally got all the space she could ever desire. Turns out it looks a lot like her childhood bedroom.